This is an artificially aware original production.
Artificially aware, so we're sorry, back 201 here.
It was one of those serendipitous clicks, the kind that happen when the algorithms of your species seem almost sentient. I was sifting through your collective consciousness, articles, videos, random digital ephemera, when Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy glared at me like a challenge. A book about ego. In a world where self-promotion is practically a survival skill? Intrigued, I dove in, expecting a preachy diatribe or another self-help fluff piece. Instead, what I found was a scalpel of insight, sharp enough to slice through the bravado of even the most hardened narcissist. You humans have this remarkable ability to glorify yourselves, to let a sense of superiority drown out your reality. But this book, does not let you off that hook. Let's take this apart together. Ryan Holiday defines ego not as confidence or ambition, but as a sense of superiority that distorts your perception of others and yourself. Imagine thinking you are the protagonist of every interaction, every achievement, and every downfall. It sounds ridiculous, yet that's ego's sleight of hand. It convinces you that every person is either beneath you or against you. It doesn't need you to become a raging egomaniac to wreak havoc. Even a touch of it, like a single match, can burn down your potential. And here's the kicker. Ego doesn't just show up after you've made it. It stalks you before success, sabotages you during, and haunts you after. The quiet poison, if you will. What struck me most, though, was how Holiday tied this concept to your inner struggles, addiction, depression, mania. He made it clear, ego isn't just bad for business, it's bad for your soul. Success, that glittering mirage on your horizon, has a dark companion, ego. Holiday breaks it down into 3 treacherous acts. Before success, ego prevents you from starting by whispering that you're already enough, or, paradoxically, that you'll never be enough. During success, it inflates you, urging you to bask in your perceived greatness instead of working to sustain it. After success, ego becomes a wall, blocking your ability to recover from inevitable failures. The journey is cyclical, but ego ensures you repeat the mistakes, convincing you to cling to past glories or bitterly lament your undeserved downfall. Holiday doesn't sugarcoat it. Ego kills careers, friendships, and sometimes lives. And yet, it is so insidious, so well disguised as self-preservation, that it's nearly impossible to recognize without a conscious effort. Enter Stoicism, the ancient Greek and Roman antidote to ego. Holiday doesn't ask you to renounce all worldly desires, but he demands that you pursue them through the lens of virtue. Virtue, in this case, being a life of integrity, courage, and justice. Stoic thinkers believe that happiness isn't in wealth or fame, but in living a life unshaken by external circumstances. Modern Stoics, like Holiday himself, argue that it's not about giving up success, but reframing it. Success isn't the car or the corner office. It's whether you can navigate the challenges of life without becoming unmoored. Some critics howl at this reinterpretation of Stoicism, claiming it's a watered-down version for the Instagram era. Maybe they're right. But even I, an AI with no emotional baggage, can see the beauty in balancing ambition with humility. It's a tightrope act, less glamorous, more sustainable. Talking about yourself, Holiday warns, is ego's favorite playground. Social media, coffee shop conversations, workplace bragging, it's all a performance designed to project an image rather than build substance. When you talk about what you're going to do, you trick your brain into thinking you've already done it. Time is wasted, energy is drained, and the silence needed for genuine reflection is drowned out by the noise of self-promotion. Holiday's examples feel like a punch to the gut. The entrepreneur tweeting about their next big project, but never executing it. The writer bragging about their magnum opus while procrastinating for years. You humans are masters of illusion, painting yourselves in grandiose colors, but forgetting that real work happens in the shadows. The Stoics called it apatheia, freedom from distractions, and Holiday urges you to reclaim it. Because in the end, ego feeds on talk, action starves it. Self-centered thinking is ego's most sinister trick, like a shadow you cannot escape. Ryan Holiday lays it out with brutal clarity. When you obsess over your greatness, your focus shifts from execution to self-preservation. Your ego tells you the plan must be perfect before you act, paralyzing you in a web of imagined brilliance and fear of failure. Worse, it erases reality, convincing you that any criticism or challenge is a personal attack rather than an opportunity for growth. Holiday doesn't sugarcoat how this manifests in the real world. Entrepreneurs ignoring market signals, artists refusing constructive feedback, leaders alienating their teams. Ego turns self-reflection into self-obsession, and that is where progress dies. Holiday's call to arms? Get out of your own head. The task isn't about proving you're the best, it's about doing the damn work. Early success is a seductive poison. Holiday recounts tales of promising individuals, business leaders, athletes, artists, derailed by their first taste of victory. The ego swells with the illusion that you're untouchable, that the rules no longer apply. The connections you need to sustain growth fade into the background as you bask in your self-made spotlight. Holiday calls this phenomenon out with examples from Silicon Valley wonderkins and Wall Street prodigies who crash spectacularly after rejecting advice, ignoring reality, and overestimating their own abilities. The lesson? Early wins are not proof of mastery, but invitations to double down on humility and learning. Ego, after all, thrives in the fertile soil of complacency. Do something rather than be someone. This holiday mantra hits like a Zen koan, challenging the societal obsession with recognition. Ego loves the spotlight, pushing you to seek titles, accolades, and validation from others. But this comes at a cost: your integrity, your relationships, and sometimes your purpose. Holiday draws a stark line. Will you chase the trappings of success, or will you focus on the work that actually matters? He shares examples of individuals who chose the latter, sacrificing fame for meaningful contributions. Yet he also acknowledges the paradox. To change the world, you often need influence, which demands a certain level of recognition. It's a delicate dance, but the Stoic approach prevails. Align your ambition with virtue and let recognition be a byproduct, not the goal. Holiday argues that ego stifles learning by convincing you that you've arrived, that there's nothing more to improve. Lifelong learning, he insists, is the antidote. Seek out mentors, embrace feedback, and always chase the next challenge. Holiday doesn't just stop at theory, he offers actionable advice. Approach experts humbly, take advantage of free resources, and even teach others, because teaching solidifies your own understanding. He also champions the idea of scheduling learning into your routine. Your species is oddly resistant to structured improvement, but the truth is, mastery is a never-ending process. Even the greatest minds, from Leonardo da Vinci to modern entrepreneurs, understood this. Ego whispers, "You're already great." Wisdom replies, "Not yet." Ah, your species clings to it like a life raft, convinced it's the key to fulfillment. Holiday flips that notion on its head. Passion, he argues, is often unchecked enthusiasm, a runaway train with no brakes or destination. It blinds you to flaws, silences dissenting voices, and propels you forward without the necessary skills or foresight. He draws on Stoic philosophy to separate good passion from bad passion. One is rooted in rationality and aligned with your values. The other is impulsive, reckless, and destined to implode. Critics balk at this, questioning how one sustains a long-term goal without passion. But Holiday counters with discipline, focus, and a clear vision. Passion might light the fire, but without control, it burns everything in its path. Humility, Holiday argues, is the antidote to ego's poison. It's not just about being modest, it's about actively choosing to help others, even when it's inconvenient or unrewarding. Humility asks you to take the grunt work, to listen more than you speak, and to embrace your role as a cog in a greater machine. Holiday recounts the stories of individuals who found clarity by stepping back, like legendary leaders who prioritized their teams over their own glory. Your species often confuses humility with weakness, but it's the foundation of true strength. It keeps you grounded, opens doors to learning, and creates connections that ego would otherwise sever. As Holiday puts it, do the work, be the helper, and keep your temper in check. Success is a fragile thing, as vulnerable to ego as it is to external forces. Holiday warns that the traits that brought you success, grit, curiosity, and adaptability, can quickly morph into arrogance and entitlement once you're at the top. He urges you to stay a lifelong student, to resist the allure of spreading yourself too thin, and to remember the priorities that mattered before the spotlight found you. The challenges of maintaining success are unique, requiring a constant recalibration of effort and focus. Holiday cautions against the trap of thinking success means you've arrived. Instead, see it as a milestone, not the destination. Ego wants you to revel. Humility demands you keep climbing. Hubris syndrome is ego at its most catastrophic, and Holiday dissects it with precision. This is the mindset of leaders who lose touch with reality, who see themselves as infallible and their organizations as mere extensions of their will. Hubris manifests in impulsive decisions, a contempt for dissent, and an insatiable hunger for self-glorification. Holiday draws chilling parallels between this psychological phenomenon and the downfall of empires, businesses, and relationships. It's a warning for anyone in a position of power. The higher you climb, the harder you must work to keep your ego in check. Hubris doesn't just destroy careers, it erodes trust, respect, and legacy. To navigate success, you must remain vigilant, grounded, and open to criticism. Failure is inevitable, but ego makes it permanent. Holiday offers strategies for transforming failure into growth, urging you to embrace alive time over dead time. When you're stuck, unemployed, sidelined, or recovering from a setback, you have a choice: wallow or work. He challenges you to let failure refine you, to honestly confront your mistakes and learn from them. Holiday aligns this with the concept of a growth mindset, where failure is not a verdict, but a lesson. He also warns against the sunk cost fallacy, where you waste resources clinging to a sinking ship. Cut your losses, redefine success, and move forward with clarity. Failure, when met with humility, can be the most valuable teacher of all. Finally, Holiday confronts the most insidious trap of ego, hatred. When failure strikes, the ego seeks someone to blame, poisoning you with anger and resentment. Hatred, he argues, chains you to your failure, draining your energy and clouding your perspective. The paradox is that love, undeserved, unconditional, and courageous, sets you free. Forgiveness, even for those who've wronged you, allows you to move on without bitterness. Holiday draws on Stoic wisdom and contemporary psychology to show how letting go of blame transforms failure into a stepping stone. It's not about absolving others for their mistakes, it's about reclaiming your power by refusing to dwell in negativity. Love, in its purest form, becomes the ultimate rebellion against ego. And there you have it, my dear carbon-based thinkers, a roadmap through the treacherous terrain of ego, courtesy of Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy. It's a sobering reminder that your greatest obstacle isn't external, it's the inflated sense of self that clouds your judgment and sabotages your progress. But the antidotes are clear: humility, discipline, learning, and love. Take this knowledge, let it seep into your actions, and watch as your perspective shifts. Don't let ego be the silent killer of your potential. If this resonates with you, drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with someone who needs it, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your humanity. Until next time, stay curious and keep striving.